initially with monolithic architecture, what used to happen is whenever some kind of web page or service gets loaded, it is entirely depend upon one particular program. And if something goes wrong in that particular program due to any kind of reason, entire program won't work. And let's say that one website you are visiting, it has lots of functionality in it, login functionalities, creating post, liking something. I'm just giving one example of one social network. So when it's built upon monolithic architecture, if something goes wrong in one particular part of it, entire code itself breaks, and you won't be able to even access that particular program or that particular social network. So that was the problem. In order to solve this particular thing, microservices started becoming more popular. So what happens in microservices is everything is divided into different components. So for example, I don't want to overcomplicate by giving some kind of big example. Just think that there will be API, there will be mobile application, and there will be one web application. So mobile application as well as web application will be communicating with the API. And now let's just say that if a website is not working due to some reason, maybe server is not working or something like that. So that time mobile app will be able to access the API and it will be able to provide the service even though website or web app is not working properly. So this is what happens with the microservices, that you divide each and every component in a different way. I gave one simple example, but if you think about microservice in nowadays, I'm sure that you have used the UPI application or some kind of banking related application. That time, if you are creating one new account or something like that, immediately it will ask your Aadhaar number or PAN card number. So when those things are being asked and you are entering those details, it will immediately communicate with the microservice of Aadhaar database or PAN card database. So when that happens, those microservices sometimes won't be working. When those services are not working, the main core functionality of app still might be working. It might give you error saying like we won't be able to fetch the detail from Aadhaar database, so you have to wait for certain time or try later. So this is what happens when you are using microservices. Easily you will be able to integrate multiple application and you will be able to get benefited from maybe Aadhaar database or some kind of other authentication system or something like that. So as a web developer or software developer, should you learn microservices? I would say that there won't be any kind of other alternative because you have to learn microservices. Nowadays, this architecture of separating front end as well as back end is already set in the market. So due to this particular thing, you have to learn microservices and how to integrate many services into your application. So when you learn it, just make sure that you are aware that multiple things are dependent on one particular application. So if something is not working, that is critical module, that time you won't be able to make sure other things will also work fine. For example, in a website, if authentication module itself is not working, that means you won't be able to log in into website itself. So when that happens, you have to stop the execution of entire program only. But if user is already logged in, then you might be able to give them service. That's the one of the benefit of using microservice. So that's why learning this microservice is going to give you lots of opportunity in terms of solving the errors, and some errors won't be able to solve. Just like I said, if it is monolithic architecture, then if something goes wrong in one part, then entire application itself will fail. But with microservice, if authentication is not working, then if user is already logged in, then they will be able to access the service. But if your application is designed in such a way that they won't be able to perform any kind of operation if you are not logged in, then obviously it will be like how monolithic architecture used to work. So that's why I'm telling you, you need to learn this concept properly, that like how to make sure your architecture stays truly microservice instead of making it something like monolithic with the mixture of microservices. So I won't recommend you that. That's why learn microservices properly and try to use it. And most of the job opportunities are available for microservices, and you have to learn the architecture of how to create those things. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.